Hello and welcome to Sports News. More facts have emerged from the crisis rocking sports in Rivers State. The State Deputy Governor, Pt.4, has denied the allegations that he is responsible for the non-payment of wages to athletes following their protest at the Government House. Mr. Kuru, who heads the committee on the National Sports Festival in the state, said his role is only advisory. Meanwhile, the Commissioner for Sports, Fred Igwe, has promised that the athletes will be paid in 2 weeks and that the delay was due to the postponement of the festival.
My work is purely advisory. Purely advisory. What I do is advise Minister of Sports and consequently advise the governor on strategy. That's all. I'm not in charge of any funds for payment.
The rule says that your athlete must be in your employment for at least 15 months to the date of the... so we have these athletes on our payroll. So we're supposed to pay another 6 months if we had gone for the competition in November. But because of this postponement that I said earlier on, we couldn't meet. Our meeting would have been camping to go for the competition and funds would have been released. And so haven't come to inform us, haven't come to tell us. It has put their payment and their plight in the front burner and we're handling it.
Nigeria's only representative in the continent, Warrior Wolves, will face AC Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo in the playoff round of the CAF Confederation Cup. Now, Wolves beat another DR Congo team, FC Etenchete, 3-1 on aggregate in the second round to advance to the third round of the competition. Their opponents crashed out of the Champions League after suffering a 2-0 loss to Egypt's Zunhab Sporting Club. Wolves will play the first leg of their playoff round game away from home on the weekend of May the 15th to the 17th, and then play the return leg at home at the Warrior City Stadium on June the 6th. Should Warrior Wolves scale through, they will play in Group B of the competition. Juventus will travel to Real Madrid with a 1-goal lead in their Champions League semi-final second leg after grinding out a deserved 2-1 home victory. Well, the old lady went ahead in the 9th minute when former Madrid striker Alvaro Morata slotted in against his old club after Carlos Tevez's effort was spilled. Real levelled as Cristiano Ronaldo nodded in James Rodriguez's cross, but the holders looked out of sorts and slipped behind again as Dani Carvajal tripped Tevez, the Argentine, after the break, and then Tevez dispatched a penalty, sending Iker Casillas the wrong way. A FIFA presidential candidate, Prince Ali bin Al Hussein, says transparency needs to be implemented in FIFA as the date for deciding who will lead soccer's governing body in the future draws near. The head of the Jordan FA says if he should win the vote, well, he wants to be part of an evolution in football.
Transparency is a word often used, and now it needs to be implemented. And I would definitely want to guarantee that that happens. We should have nothing to hide. It's the world's most popular sport, and it belongs to the world as a whole. We should restore confidence in this organization. As much as football is loved around the world, unfortunately, the reputation is the opposite. And that will be only to the benefit of the sport. So for sure, that is key in the future of FIFA. Well, I think that if we do win, hopefully we'll start from the very beginning. Football needs to evolve, and I want to be part of that evolution. So we start with a new outlook on how we want to go into the future. So I think it will be right off the bat.
Well, Golden State Warriors point guard Stephen Curry says he is over the moon after being named the regular season most valuable player, promising his teammates gifts befitting of his new status. The 27-year-old received 100 of 130 first-place votes from a panel of 129 writers and broadcasters, along with votes of the fans. His points total saw him finish ahead of James Harden of the Houston Rockets and LeBron James.
This hasn't sunk in at all. I'm on cloud 9 for sure. Obviously, we're in the middle of a playoff run, and that's the most important thing. But today is a celebration for sure. Pops, you're the example of what a true professional is on and off the court. I remember a lot of your career, and to be able to follow in your footsteps. It means a lot to me. I warmed you guys up with the PlayStations last week. That wasn't good enough, though. I understand. That gift was to buy me some time until this announcement, and now I can up the level of the gift before we get out of here in June.
Well, the three seeds at the Madrid Open, John Isner, Marin Cilic and Feliciano Lopez, are through to the second round of the tournament in Spain. Isner beat Frenchman Adrian Manarino 7-6, 6-4, achieving the only break of serve in the match in the ninth game of the second set before serving out to win in 82 minutes. Ninth seed Marin Cilic defeated Jiří Veselý of the Czech Republic 7-5, 6-1, while Lopez delighted the crowd with a 7-5, 3-6, 6-4 victory over German Benjamin Becker, winning the match after 2 hours of play. And that's sports news. I'm Ayotunde Balogun Sulamin. We'll be back with the rest of the news.
On the foreign scene, Save the Children has confirmed that dozens of migrants have drowned in the Mediterranean after a boat carrying an estimated 137 people sank south of Sicily. The aid group says survivors reported up to 40 people fell into the sea as the rescue vessel was approaching. Here's Cynthia Are with more.
Well, thank you. The survivors arrived in the city of Catania today, and at least 1,750 people have died this year alone trying to cross the Mediterranean. That's a 20-fold increase on the same period back in 2014. Also today, the United States still maintains that Burundi President Pierre Nkurunziza's decision to run for a third term is a very bad idea, as it could have dire consequences like what we saw yesterday when at least 3 people lost their lives when protests in the capital, Bujumbura, turned violent. But the incumbent president is beyond pleased to have the backing of the courts, as the Constitutional Court has approved his decision to run for a third term. Then Amnesty International says civilians in Syria's second city of Aleppo are suffering unthinkable atrocities. A new report alleges that government forces and many rebel groups are committing war crimes on a daily basis. The government has reportedly stepped up its bombardment of Aleppo in recent weeks in response to a rebel offensive. Finally, new rules to provide help for France's intelligence services trying to prevent Islamist attacks are expected to be approved by Parliament. The law on intelligence gathering comes nearly 4 months after 3 days of attacks in Paris in January in which 17 people were killed. The socialist government says the law is needed to take account of changes in communications technology. That's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Sulaiman.
Many thanks, Cynthia. The main news again. Lawmakers in the House of Representatives today unanimously rejected a motion calling for the removal of fuel subsidy, saying the move to scrap the policy is anti-people. Ahead of the handover of government, APC governors-elect today met with the President-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, to discuss the state of Nigeria's economy, just as the People's Democratic Party inaugurated a committee to investigate its poor performance and the use of its campaign funds in the 2015 elections. And dozens of migrants crossing the Mediterranean have drowned after the boat deflated south of Sicily. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. We thank you for watching.